Hey, welcome back to Dega Babe. It's been a while, and today it's my solo final trailer breakdown. So it's been a few weeks, I think, since I've been on. I've been a little bit kind of preoccupied with other things that have been going on. Things I can't really talk about just yet, but I will be in the next few months. I know that I said I'm bringing along my website. I am still bringing my website. I'm still working on it, and I've actually changed web hosts because I wasn't happy with the one I had, so I've now gone to another one. So hopefully in the next month or so I'll be bringing you my website, which is going to have lots of things on there about Star Wars and about all sorts of things, and about Ireland, and a little bit about the old Dega Babe as well, me as well. So in the last week or so we had what we think is the final solo trailer. There's been a couple of TV spots since then. I have to be honest, I have not watched them because I've seen enough for now, and I feel like the surprises are being ruined a little bit, so I want to wait and just enjoy the film now when it comes out in May, and not see any more, because definitely the trailers have given away an awful lot. So this trailer that just came out, I am getting pretty excited about this movie. The first teaser trailer that came out with the Super Bowl, and then there was an international one. I got excited. Before that I really wasn't keen on this film at all, but then it kind of sparked my interest when I saw the trailers, and then when I saw this one I thought, wow, it really does look like it's going to be a lot of fun, this film. And now I'm can't wait to see it. So I'm wondering if many of you felt like that, where you like me and you really kind of were not keen, and now you really are looking forward to it. Or maybe you've gone the opposite way. Comment below, let me know. So I've written out all my notes, because when I do these trailer breakdowns there's so much I always want to say, and every time I shoot my video I get off camera afterwards and go, damn it, I forgot to say this and I forgot to say that. So I am going to be looking down at my notes because I don't want to miss or leave anything out this time. So it opens with a rather seedy kind of looking planet, which when I first heard about this planet being in it, at first I thought it could be Mos Eisley, but it's not. We know it's Corellia, which is Han Solo's home planet, and it's really cool. In that opening scene you can see what looks like a Star Destroyer literally being constructed miles above. It looks like it's literally in the sky as it's being constructed, and that looks really cool. But this looks like a really seedy, horrible kind of place, not the place for a nice, decent person to be. So I suppose it suits Han down to the ground, because he is such a scoundrel. So that planet looks really, really cool. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that throughout the film. That scene as well, where we see the line of bandits, and we see this one that's kind of very Revan-like, and we now know that that's actually a female named Enfys Nest. I'm so excited that that's actually a woman. I've a feeling that she's going to seriously kick ass in this. I've heard that she's apparently a bounty hunter, but to me when you look at that scene they look kind of like bandits, a group of bandits, rather than bounty hunters. She seems to have a whole team behind her. And actually when I saw that moment and they show Han unclipping his holster, I don't know about everybody else, but straight away I thought of the Clint Eastwood era of westerns, those movies. So like A Fistful of Dollars, I think there was another one called A Few Dollars More, and then of course there's The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. I don't know if he's actually in that one, but no, I don't think he is actually, if he's in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. But it kind of reminded me of those final duel scenes that you see, these standoffs where they're like, you know, you see these shots kind of between their legs from behind, and you know, just unclipping the holster. It's all quite tense. So I have a feeling that that scene, there's going to be a massive shootout between them. And I keep wondering if Han will actually take out every one of those bandits behind Enfys Nest, and then it'll literally just be her and him, which kind of tends to be typically what happens in those kind of westerns. By the way, this entire movie, as far as I'm concerned, has been inspired by that era of westerns. And even that first set of posters that came out, you know, the ones that looked very weathered, they looked like wanted posters, outlaw posters. And I did comment in a previous video that it reminded me of kind of the old Mexican style westerns. And having seen this trailer now, I definitely think that there's been a massive influence from classic western movies, and this is going to play out very much the whole way through this movie. Even in the trailer, I mean, you can see it a lot. You've got your underground type saloon that Lando is in. You see Han coming in to obviously play for the Millennium Falcon, and it's very much underground, and it would remind you of kind of these old seedy type casinos that were in westerns, and they had a light just above the table that would be swinging, you know, that would have the fringe on the light, and it's a bit like that. It has that kind of atmosphere. And in this trailer, really cool, some awesome creatures coming again. It's one thing I always love about Star Wars. There's so much to look at in each scene, especially when it's saloons or bars or public kind of places, like in Cantina Bite. You know, there was always kind of a whole array of creatures to look at, which must just absolutely spark the hearts of cosplayers around the world. They must love seeing these scenes, so they can see something new that they're going to be able to try, and that kind of, I love that as well, seeing that in the films. And we see that definitely in the scene where Han sits down with Lando, and he says he's wondering if the things he's heard about Lando are true. And I think Donald Glover's going to be fantastic as Lando. He's very smooth, and he is really cocky and very arrogant when he says all the things you've heard about me are true. I think there's going to be a lot of clashing between them at first, and of course then I think they will become the best of mates. I've kind of gone off point now. So I mentioned the unclipping of the holster, all very, very westerny looking. The underground style casino. Oh, one thing I did notice, I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but when Han pushes his chips, though, I don't know if they're chips or they're kind of currency from around the galaxy. And if you look at what he pushes in, if he came with that, that is, I don't know if he's won it from other players on the table, but if he came with that, it looks like he's a well-travelled man who's gone around a lot of places. But if you look very carefully, I'll try and put a picture here of it. One of the chips actually has the Mandalorian crest on it, the logo. So I'm wondering what the significance of that actually is, or it's just thrown in there for us, for the fans to spot. Which I did spot that chip there that does have the Mandalorian crest on it, so hopefully I'll have that here for you to see. The scene where we see Han and Chewie looking at the Millennium Falcon, and you can see in Han that he's pretty impressed. This is not when when he's inside it. This is when they're outside and they're walking around underneath it. And I'm wondering where that's supposed to be. Is that still Corellia, or is that somewhere else? And the reason I ask that question is because when Han is standing under there, if you look up behind him through what looks kind of like a sandstorm going on around them, you can see what looks like two suns setting in the sky, or at least maybe they're high in the sky, but they're being shadowed by this sandstorm. And I'm wondering if at any point in this movie we will end up going to Mos Eisley, because Han seems to be quite a regular of Mos Eisley and of Tatooine, which of course might bring Jabba in somewhere in the story, which would kind of be cool. I would kind of expect Jabba to be there somewhere. Maybe him and Han meeting for the first time, maybe making this deal that we later hear about in the original trilogies. So I'd be kind of surprised if Jabba doesn't show up somewhere in this, and if a trip to Tatooine and Mos Eisley doesn't show up. I really would be very surprised if it doesn't. But just for that moment, it did look like two suns in the sky above them in that kind of sandstorm, and so maybe they are in Mos Eisley at that point. I'm not sure, but that's just my own thought. I might be very wrong about that. So in this one, we finally get a really good look at Paul Bettany, who is playing the character Dryden Voss, who is clearly looks like a quite disturbed individual. And he's got this very heavy scarring to his face. So he's seen some things in his time, and I have a feeling that he is going to absolutely hate Han Solo. And Beckett, of course, I think is working for him. I think it's Dryden Voss, of course. Oh, who has no connection to Quinlan Voss? Damn, I was kind of hoping it would be, which I think I said before in the video, but it's they're not connected, so yeah, there you go. But Paul Bettany's character, yeah, I have a feeling he's the one who's creating this big job that Beckett asks Solo out on that sandy kind of area with those very unusual looking kind of almost monolithic type tombs all around him, kind of these obelisk type things all around him. And is when he's telling him that, you know, when you go into this kind of job, if you go in with this, you're going in for life. So obviously Dryden Voss is the man who's driving that whole thing and is putting the money behind it. And I reckon that's, of course, smuggling from the spice mines of Kessel. I think that's going to be the big job. I think that's going to be the big finale in this movie. I think, and of course, I think that's what we're all hoping to build up to, because we all want to see the Millennium Falcon doing the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. So it'll be really cool to see that. So I think, yeah, Dryden Voss is a big time gangster. Again, this kind of Western vibe he has. I think he owns that bar that we see Kira in, and she looks absolutely beautiful with that black dress and that kind of gold necklace. She's kind of like, you know, when you go into these Western movies and you go into the saloon and they say, you know, what do you have? And, you know, I'll have a sour whiskey, and, you know, go over to Betsy there, she'll set you up with a woman. You know, and I feel like Kira is kind of that type. Not, she wouldn't be the one you'd be getting set up with, but she'd be the one who would be in charge of all the girls. So I feel she's that kind of character. She's living the high life at that point, and she is maybe romantically attached to Dryden Voss, and maybe that's why he won't like Solo, because it kind of takes her eyes away from him. I don't know, I could be completely wrong about that, but I feel like there's going to be a chemistry there between them, that he lusts after her, Dryden Voss does, and that she maybe goes off with Solo. But I don't think that she's going to get anything out of Solo, to be honest, in this film, because I think Solo's having a very clear big love affair with the Millennium Falcon. So I think the love interest for him will be the Millennium Falcon. In this trailer as well, we get to see a little more about Chewie. I was completely riveted to that moment where you see Chewie having a very intimate moment with another Wookiee. A Wookiee much smaller than him. He pulls the Wookiee in and they kind of press heads together. And I thought, oh my god, I think that's going to be a very emotional moment. And of course I am wondering, just like everybody else, the first thing I thought was, oh my god, I wonder, is that Chewie's wife, Mala? So it would be really cool if it is Mala. I really hope it is. I really hope it is. I would love to see more of a background to Chewie. I'd love to see some of his life. You know, and I'm wondering, in the movie, will they go the same way? Is he going to be a slave in it, and Han gets him out of that situation? And what happens? Does he pay a life debt to Han for saving his life? Which is what I feel is happening in it. So I think that'll be really lovely. There's a slight steampunkish thing about this film as well, which of course kind of coincides with the Western vibe. When you see Chewie with those goggles on, and I think he looks very steampunkish, and he has this, I think he's a brown leather type weathered, battered up old satchel, and a weapon, and it really does look very slight steampunkish feel to it. Which I'd love, actually, because I love the whole steampunk thing, so that would be really, really cool. I'm kind of blabbing on. So we've done scenes, we've done Beckett, I've covered Beckett and Dryden Voss, of course, a big, big guy, blah, blah, blah. Oh, those scenes with the land speeders with Han and Kira side by side, and of course we see the dice swinging there. I think everybody knows about that now. There's a lot of questioning whether that's the earlier years, that possibly Han has known Kira since they were teenagers in it. I'm also wondering as well, you know, I kind of agreed with that as well, that yes, it probably is the younger years, but I'm also wondering if Dryden Voss will want, or Beckett will want, Han Solo to prove himself before they are going to let him come and do a big job with them. So they're going to set smaller jobs for him to go and do. That could be one of them, and Kira happens to be with him. And she leaves Dryden Voss to go back to kind of a life of crime and street crime, being a street kid in the film. Oh, I'm loving the look of this new droid L337. A little bit, I don't think she's going to be like K2SO, I have to be totally honest. K2SO was still quite refined, even though, and he was a bit kind of, I don't care, whatever sort of attitude in it, but I think she's got a lot of drive and passion. From what I can see, she really loves a good fight. So I get the impression that because she said, I'm really glad we took this job. I get the impression she loves a bit of action and she loves a good fight and she can't wait. And it appears that At first I thought she was Kira's droid, but I think she might actually be Lando's. Because we see that moment where she's attacking someone and Lando actually tells her, you know, pulls her back, and she pulls herself back straight away as if he is the boss. So I think maybe she might be Lando's droid in it, which, yeah, I think it'd be really, really cool. I love that second, just for a split second in the trailer, you get to see the back end of the Millennium Falcon firing up, which is really cool. And I'm wondering if that's the first time that Han actually fires it up, not Lando. And I think it's going to be very weird in this movie to actually see Lando piloting the Millennium Falcon with Han sitting behind him, where Luke normally sits. Even though we did see Lando in Return of the Jedi pilot the Millennium Falcon, I think it's going to be odd to see it go back and Han not to be the owner of the Falcon. And of course the Falcon is brand spanking new and shiny and beautiful and white on the inside. But then, as I said before, that matches Lando's personality. He's very smooth and even his clothes are all there's not a crease, there's nothing, there's not even a bit of dirt. He's very colourful and bright and very smooth, and yeah, it's almost kind of pimpish, you know what I mean? It's kind of pimpish. He reminds me of, I can't remember the name of the character that was in Starsky and Hutch. Oh, actually when the movie was remade, Snoop Dogg played him. Oh, what's his name? Hooky Bear! Hooky Bear! He reminds me a little bit of Hooky Bear. And of course, you know, that could happen, of course, because I think there's going to be a slight late 70s vibe to this, to make it coincide with A New Hope, so it all blends beautifully together if you want to watch them right through, you know. So yeah, it's a slight Hooky Bear vibe about him. And of course in this one we get to see these new troopers, which I think may be the Mimban troopers, which is of course a planet we know, which was in Clone Wars. So the troopers, I have to say, they do look really cool in this. I'm hoping they've got a better shot than they've had in other movies. They never do though, do they? They never do very well. They're the most inferior army in the world. How the hell have the Empire managed to stay so strong for so long with that lot? I don't know. And the other thing was this kind of train that we see, a very odd train that seems to be able to move literally 360 on a track. And that's also another very Western thing, isn't it? I mean, there's always scenes in Westerns where you see cowboys being chased on the roofs of moving trains. And that's kind of the same vibe. Of course, it's much more interesting because the train can just twist and turn and move whatever way it likes. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out as well. And I do believe that we see Enfys Nest in there as well. And it could be that Enfys Nest is also trying to smuggle from the spice mines and becomes the #1 competitor before with Lando and Han Solo and Kira, and is constantly turning up in the same places. So maybe it's like almost like a race between them to win and to smuggle out of Kessel. So yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think I've kind of covered everything that I've wanted to cover. Oh, 2 things actually, sorry, I almost forgot. I did laugh when I saw the trailer and Han said, I have a good feeling about this. I mean, that's literally just taking the piss out of, I have a bad feeling about this. I kind of wish they didn't put it in the trailer because it ruined the fun of it, of seeing it for the first time on the screen in the movie and laughing our asses off. We've all laughed our asses off at it now in the trailer. So I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, but they shouldn't have put that in the trailer. They should have left it until we saw the film. And the other thing is we see Dryden Voss with a weapon that really I'm quite interested in, that literally looks like kind of an arc, but it definitely looks like it's Kyber Crystal powered weapon, not a lightsaber, but something kind of similar that seems to go across his knuckles. And so I really can't wait to see that. So I think that's everything. I think I've covered everything in that trailer. Yeah, I think I have. I think I've gotten through it all, everything I possibly could, because there's just so much going on in those trailers. So I won't be bringing any more videos about TV spots or anything, because I kind of don't want to see any more, because I don't want to have it ruined for me, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this film now. And I wasn't excited at all. So guys, yeah, I heard as well that Alden was being interviewed, and he informed the interviewer that he was not going to be impersonating Harrison Ford in this movie. And you know, a lot of people were like, oh no, he's not going to be anything like Han Solo. But in all fairness, he shouldn't be impersonating Harrison Ford, because he's not playing Harrison Ford, he's playing Han Solo. So I'd like him to put a new spin on it, a new twist on it. I don't mind him, of course, having some mannerisms, that would match up with Harrison Ford, but you want something fun and new. And I think with these new independent standalone films, we have to be very open to anything goes really here. I mean, even Rogue One, I remember when that opened and it didn't have the opening crawl. And I remember me just kind of looking around the movie theatre because I thought, did I go into the wrong theatre? I was convinced I'd gone into the wrong theatre. And of course it was just that the opening crawl wasn't on it. But you know what? We all loved that movie. That movie was fantastic. So, you know, I'm going to keep my mind open and I'm really looking forward to Solo. So that's it from me, guys, for this week. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new and this is the first video you looked at, and go back and look at all my other crazy videos. I have loads of videos there now. Click on that subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell as well so that you get a notification every time a video pops up when I put a new one up there. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. I'm also on Pinterest as well. I'm not on it very much, but I am on it some of the time. As I say always, come with me and join the force and we can rule the galaxy together. So guys, next week I'll be bringing you a review of the bonus material that was on The Last Jedi Blu-ray release. That's what I have as the Blu-ray release. And I'll be talking about the documentary The Director and the Jedi, which I've watched a few times. And let's have a chat about that. Okay guys, so listen, have an amazing week. I hope you're getting good weather where you are. We are finally getting it here. And may the force be with you. Bye.